Hey guys, it's me Mr. 250 and welcome back to Shadow of the Colossus. So it's been about a week for me, hopefully not nearly as long for you guys, but I know it's been a couple days for you guys as well. And since I last played, somebody was talking to me, they're asking me how I felt about the whole style of gameplay where it's just boss rush only kind of deal. Because, I mean, that's kind of what this game is, really, just like a giant boss rush. Which is pretty interesting if you think about it that way. Because there aren't any field enemies or anything. I mean, there's the closest thing you could call to an enemy is that lizard. And we destroyed it, so there's really not any field enemies to speak of. And beyond leveling up from eating said lizards, there's really no progression in that sense. Like there's no leveling up, there's no anything like that. I'm not a fan of the camera constantly trying to pan itself when I'm trying to look at things. Like, I think these are turtles? So this is another one of those shrines, I think. No, I don't need you. Maybe not. I see sparkles in front of it, but it doesn't give me the option to, like, pray in front of it. Oh well. I'm more concerned anyway for the, possible lizards around. Though I'm also kind of wondering if that extra little sliver of stamina that it gives me is really all that worth it. But it probably is when you're dealing with the last little bit of strength you have with the stupid Colossus that's flailing around a bunch. I got really... I'm like, looking back at it, I got really, really salty about that one Colossus. And I'm not entirely sure why it was so difficult, because other people were saying, somebody else is saying, wow, he did just keep going, and going, and going. So I'm not mad. It's true. And finally playing through this game, I think I'm kind of an interesting case, at least personally, I think. Because, whoa, it's bright over here. Because, a lot of people know about this game, even if they haven't played it. And I think I was probably a rare exception in that, for whatever reason, I just didn't know anything about this game. You're not Special Lizard. So, I guess I kind of went into it with no expectations other than, expectations that people said it was good. And I can see why people would say it's good. It's good in the sense that I think it's a really interesting game to play through like once. But I don't know how much replay value it has outside of, I know there's like time attack stuff for it. But personally, I never considered that replay value more than just sort of like challenging yourself to be the very best, you know, Ash Ketchum style. Horse, why are you so slow? And it's strange as well, you know, being a boss rush kind of game. Am I pressing the wrong button? I don't know. Oh, circle, that's what it is. I'm an idiot. You know, being a boss rush game like this, it's, there's a lot of open, empty world, which I think is probably important for the story's narrative. Being such a remote location, you know, you couldn't exactly have Colossuses running around, otherwise it's more like Attack on Titan and then everyone wants to kill them. I don't know, I've been thinking about that for a little bit, you know. That idea of, it's a very detailed world. You can tell they put a lot of work into just the visual design of the world. It's a very interesting thing to explore and see all the different everything, I guess. But it is also very empty and very dead feeling. Both in terms of it just, you know, there being ruins around. Like, it definitely seems like there used to be something going on. But also in the sense that there's just vast expanses of, like, desert. And just no living creatures aside from birds and lizard. The best living creatures. This seems spooky. And not entirely safe. Uh-oh. I don't think the horse wants to go down there. You stay here for a bit. We're gonna do some intense climbing. So that's what happens if you fall down. Whoa, what is this down here? Oh, this seems super dangerous. Let's go see what it is. Oh, yeah. Exactly what I needed to jump in the water with whatever the heck this thing is. You know that thing the people have, you know, the fear of just the open ocean? The endless deep below it, seemingly anyway? Where you could just have some sort of Cthulhian monster jump out of the water and murder you? Yeah. I'm kind of getting, like, strange vibes from this dude. Aggro's not coming out here. Okay. I don't even know where to start with this guy. As far as I know, we can't dive, so we have to wait until he comes to the surface. I mean, we can, like, dive for short periods of time, but not really anything massive. Well, let's get over your fear of fish. Which of these buttons was dive? That one. I've got a bad feeling about this guy, I really do. Something about being underwater for a long period of time. Oh yeah, I was totally talking about it before. It looks like I might have a minute while I'm figuring out what's going on. That I kind of went into this without any real expectations beyond people saying it was good, which I think is an interesting position to be in, because I didn't really expect anything, oh god, like amazing out of it, and so far it has proved to be really, really cool. Okay, what is it? Oh, okay, that hurts. Don't go near the shocking water. Wait. Oh, that's what I had to do. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a trial of endurance here, it really is. Having to grip something that's underwater for a while. I don't like it when it surfaces like that, it makes me very nervous. I don't inherently have a fear of the ocean, but there always is kind of that fear of the unknown. And once again, going back to the deep ocean gives you that fear of the unknown. Oh man, okay. Sense of perspective is a little bit hard to work with sometimes. See, I like this guy. He's got a very calming start as you sort of slowly figure out what you're supposed to do to attack him. Unlike some of the other guys where you immediately see where you're supposed to go and you just kind of go for it. This guy's got a bit of a... I don't know, you gotta think a bit. Okay, I got him. It doesn't appear like I can climb when he's under the water. So when he's under the water, you just kind of gotta hold on. And try not to run out of air or grip, really. You know what I said? Just based upon like what you see from the world, you can tell that they put a lot of work into this game. But that's not all, obviously. You know, the bosses are a massive portion of this game. And you can really see from the bosses, too, just how much work they put into this game. So I suppose from both of those perspectives, this kind of thing's important. I have a feeling these are going to hurt me. Yep. Oh man, this is not the place to be. There's some sort of strategy involved with not dying here? Huh. Huh. Okay, so I'm wondering... I wonder if those spikes themselves are the weak points. Like I have to attack them, you know, during those short bouts I have out of the water. It's probably not far from the truth. Because they only shock you when it contacts the water, but when it's out of the water, it didn't have any dangerous effects to it, as far as I could tell. I'm gonna skip that. Oh yeah, and people were also telling me, I had a couple people telling me that although Ico is, I think harder, or I don't know. It's a different game entirely. It's a puzzle game. In a different sense than like this game is anyway. That they recommended I should play Ico. Which, I think we might end up doing at some point. I did really want to play Soma after I finished after I finished up with this game. So Soma is still on the list of like games to play. So Ico, we might wait a little bit for Ico, but I think we will do Ico at some point because, you know, people were talking about it. You can see the frames checking though, can't you? Look at that. I wonder how that ran on the original PS2. I'm sure the graphics were simpler to, you know, help compensate with that kind of problem, but I'm seeing this chug here, so I'm wondering if the PS2 had any trouble with this kind of thing. It probably just had like simpler water physics or something. Like I said, being in the unique position of not knowing pretty much anything about this game, I have no idea what the PS2 version looked like. Don't get shocked. Let's try it. Oh, that's not it, but I do see a weak spot back there. It's nice of him to surface for a while, knowing that we can't do, like, anything to him. Oh, that was not the move. That was not the move. Prepare to be shocked and awed. Please, don't fall off. Oh, no. Shocked again. Yeah, and that makes it stop shocking you. Okay, excellent. I can work with that. Hopefully they don't regenerate over time. That would actually kind of suck a lot. I can see the different little colored circles of fur on its back where the electricity reaches. That's actually a really nice touch. Now, I remember I was reading a thing on game developers at one point talking about how, okay, we're about to lose grip here. And I didn't really have any choice in the matter on that one. Am I gonna drown? Oh, back to what I was saying. I remember reading stuff about game developers and just kind of talking about how you can tell good game developers from bad game developers by how they make their games. You know? Because you can make a game that you could play, if that makes sense. But can you make a game that everyone could play? I don't know why I'm getting so like deep in thought on this episode. I don't know. I've had a couple days to think about it. For example, I remember this. They were talking about Valve in this, and how. I mean, and I'm not saying only Valve does this, but they're just. I remember specifically them mentioning Valve, and that Valve in their games, you know, their Half-Life and their Left 4 Dead games and stuff like that, they mark you towards important things with lighting, which a lot of game developers do. It's a useful trick. You know, show a character an important thing by putting a light over it, or maybe casting a light down a corridor that you want a player to go down. And the player gets drawn to that light because there's more detail there, and, you know, stuff like that. People are naturally drawn to light somewhat, I think. It's a kind of an inquisitive feeling. And just little things like that. Highlighting an area. I mean, I guess it's kind of obvious for this, but I think it's a subtle kind of change they got going on here. Or instead of the fur being a brown, it's more of like an orange there. And you kind of start to figure it out. But that's the kind of stuff that you can tell like good game developers from, is apparently by just if they're good at providing hints to their players on how to play their games, because everything isn't always going to be super easy to follow. Oh, no. Here comes the thrashing again. Ah, almost. Nope. I really do like this guy, though. This is a cool boss guy. So far, I haven't seen any that I've really considered bad, except for that one that I just kind of complained about, but honestly, looking back at it, I feel like I just got unlucky. That might just be the worst of it. I just got unlucky. Oh, gotcha. Couldn't dive for that one. I have no idea why I'm getting so deep in thought today, but it's just little things like that really, I think really show that this game developer knows what they're doing. And I think that is probably why this game was such a kind of successful classic. Where are the noodles? Oh god, noodles! Just when you think you're safe. And I suppose I won't really know the entire truth of that until I finish the game, but that's just sort of what I've been thinking about for the past couple days. It has been a fun adventure, just sort of jumping into a game that people have talked about forever and yet I knew nothing about. And I don't even really know how I managed to avoid spoilers. It wasn't like I was, someone started talking to me about Shadow of the Colossus and I'm like, oh, don't tell me, I'm doing a Let's Play in like 10 years or something. I never heard about it. I don't know. Well, I never was told much about it, I guess, and I never really pursued it. that sounds sinister. A little bit edgy, almost. The shadow that crawls across the walls. I like the free camera control during cutscenes thing. Like the Metal Gear Solid thing, where you just, like, give you free reign of your camera for no real reason. Like, oh, here, you can look around this cutscene. Oh, hi, horse. Scared the crap out of me. Anyway, we're going to stop off there for today. Hope you enjoyed. Just like last week, I plan on making a couple of these ahead of time. But once again, this week shouldn't be nearly as bad, I think. Though I said that about last week, and I left a break of about, like, 3 days. Go me. So, yeah. We'll be back in a bit, so see you guys in a bit.